What up, Criminal Justice 101? My name is John, and today we're going to be talking about crime in the media. Crime is everywhere, and one of the most common places for people to witness crime is on the news. But could a news article or a report really influence someone to commit a crime? Well, according to a researcher named Friedman in 1994, it is not impossible to rule out people being influenced by crime. But he had gone to extreme lengths to show that there is no correlation between the way media portrays crime and those who commit crime. On the contrary, though, recent studies conducted in the 21st century have shown that there is some sort of correlation between the two. Television has the biggest influence on mainly youth and young adults. Having media outlets such as TV, cell phones, video games, etc., so accessible now can lead to some influence of aggressive behavior. Some other personal factors as to how people can analyze and consume the material are racial and socioeconomic backgrounds, their education level, the community and country in which they live in, etc. These factors help individuals decipher the good and the bad, determine the severity of the crime, and understand the legal severity and help determine the outcome of the crime to see if the reward is greater than the risk. The evidence shows that how media is portrayed to individuals will influence a small portion of people. How will this happen? It will happen through restricted content and how actual news channels relay crimes and the message they send to their viewers.
Today in media, people typically choose their news source based on their political leanings such as MSNBC or CNN for the left-leaning politics and Fox for the right. In today's media, it is much harder to find an unbiased source that gives just facts. While the political-leaning news sources like to explain the facts in persuasive manners for political gain, sometimes leaving out information or giving an overwhelming amount to scare. Here are some political biases in the Vegas shooting. A quote from CNN: "It appears to be the first mass shooting in decades to have been carried out with a weapon capable of firing at automatic speeds, approaching hundreds of rounds a minute." Versus the Fox quote that says, "The seemingly inconsistent rate of Paddock shooting may indicate he was using a device to mimic full auto fire. These devices take advantage of a firearm's natural recoil to bump fire the firearm, thereby mimicking a machine gun without meeting the legal definition." Between these two sources, CNN uses scare tactics to persuade listeners to feel and believe that there is more of an issue at hand. This example shows CNN quickly put a label on the firearms used as a machine gun, while Fox went into more depth and explained the types of firearms used and the technology used to mimic machine gun fire, which have been illegal for close to 5 decades. Both using strategies to sway their viewers, CNN, which often pushes for more gun legislation, versus Fox, who tries to preserve gun rights. In 2017, a Gallup poll found that majority of Americans viewed the news media favoring a particular political party. 64% of people believed it favored the Democratic Party, compared to 22% who believed it favored the Republican Party. This now begs the question, is the media's take on crime beneficial or harmful for society?
Is significant growth of the crime rate nationwide a reality as the media would lead us to believe? Approximately 81% of Americans access some form of media daily for news coverage. Extended access to media coverage, especially with the development of online news broadcasting less than a decade ago, has made it possible for us to have hour-by-hour, even minute-by-minute updates around the clock. We learn about incidents of crime as they are happening and form our opinions before the official data has even been released. However, our perceptions of crime are not necessarily any more accurate.
I'm Nick, and I'm going to talk about the negative effects of crime in the media. To begin, a 2010 review by psychologist Craig A. Waltz and others included that the evidence strongly suggests that exposure to violent video games is a causal risk factor for increased aggressive behavior, aggressive cognition, and aggressive affect, and for decreased empathy and prosocial behavior. Another effect, research has associated exposure to media violence with a variety of physical and mental problems for children and adolescents, including aggressive and violent behavior, bullying, desensitization to violence, fear, depression, nightmares, and sleep disturbances. A third effect is media violence poses a threat to public health in a way that it leads to an increase in real-world violence and aggression. Research shows that fictional television and film violence contribute to both a short-term and long-term increase in aggression and violence in young viewers. And the last effect that crime has in the media is, according to Science Daily, these changes could render people less able to control their own aggressive behavior. Our findings demonstrate for the first time that watching media depictions of violence does influence processing in parts of the brain that controls aggressive behavior like aggression, which will cause children to become angry sometimes. And that's it for the negative effects that crime has in the media.
What up, everybody? I'm going to talk about some positives on the media. Here we go. The media doesn't always have negative effects on crime. There are positive influence that the media has on crime. For example, some police departments, such as those in Tulsa, Oklahoma, incorporate safety or practical tips with their periodic crime reports. For example, in mentioning a rape crime, they may offer that few rapes are stronger rapes, committed instead by a family member or someone that you may know. Media will, in turn, often repeat this information, and good journalists and editors take it one step further and offer a series of tips to help educate the public, create awareness, and help audiences implement good practices. The media also offers a venue for people to call in tips or information about a crime anonymously. The media's announcements and coverage of certain events has played and continues to play in a large portion of its popularity.
It has motivated communities to start similar movements in individual neighborhoods, such as organizing community policing or enacting a neighborhood or block watch program. It can also have an effect on the legal and judicial pressures when it comes to a court setting. In certain situations, the media can influence a chain reaction where a crime is committed and someone is then wrongfully accused for that crime, which can create an uproar in the community and/or public and create more of a voice for them. Some of the more common ones people would think of would be that it allows the police departments to disperse information much quicker, such as Amber Alerts and other big events. It can also shed light on most crimes that would be unknown if it wasn't for the media. People tend to have many negative connotations when it comes to the media and their involvement when it comes to dispersing crime. All in all, the media is a great source for crime information. You just have to know what to look for and what to listen for.
And now we're going to wrap it up.
Media has a multitude of effects on each person that views it. These effects can range from making the population be in favor of police action or wanting to start a riot. Media shouldn't be viewed as an unbiased source, but more of a place where one can gather facts on a subject and formulate their own opinion. There are both positive and negative aspects of media's effect on crime. People just need to understand what is real and what is exaggerated.
Make sure you don't cover the speaker because
It's going right now.
Oh, it's going right now?
Yeah.
All right. What up, Criminal Justice 101?
Woo! What up, CJS 102 101?
No correlation between the way people... Oh, God. Television...
Oh shit.